Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ljubljana Talks. This is already the third day of our podcast live from IMEX Frankfurt, and today I have a special guest with me, Ralf Specht, chairman of 27 Names. Ralf, welcome to our podcast.
Gorazd, thank you very much for having me. It's a great pleasure.
We're in your hometown, Ralf.
Absolutely.
What does it mean, event like this to Frankfurt and to you, actually?
Well, actually, Frankfurt is, fairs and exhibitions are at the heart of Frankfurt. And I have got the luxury to live 5 minutes walking distance from here, so it's an easy walk to come and see you. And Frankfurt has always been a city of commerce and trade. It's always been at the north-south, east-west junction of trade across Europe for many centuries. So it's only fair that the Fair and Exhibition Center here in Frankfurt is such an important place for trade and business across the world.
We always start with more personal question. Tell us more about yourself, Ralf, before we go to 27 names and more, I would say, industry-connected questions.
Yes, so as you already know, I live here pretty much next door. And I've been living in Frankfurt for pretty much 30 years and built my career in the marketing communications area. Here I've been working with McCann Erickson, created Momentum for Germany, Austria, Switzerland 15 years ago, and that connected me with the life experience industry. I've been the president of the German Events Marketing Association, and later on co-founded an agency which was a joint venture with Jaguar and Land Rover called Spark 44 globally. So my international background probably pretty much led me to this opportunity with 27 Names, which I think is just a great family of the best independent life experience agencies in Europe.
And how would you describe 27 Names just in 3 words? Is it possible to do it?
Absolutely. 27 Names is inspiring, is a family/community, and is the future of independent agencies.
So 27 Names is not just a network, it's a strong partnership. What can you say about that partnership? What does it bring to the agencies which are part of 27 Names?
The purpose of 27 Names is to inspire growth, but not just growth from a business sense, but also from a personal sense. So mutual inspiration is key to 27 Names. The community has been founded in 2008, so it's got a long history, and the core idea is to create a trusted environment where members can share even confidential information because they are not competitors to one another. The principle of 27 Names is that there is one agency in one country, one agency, one country. And that means that none of the agencies are competing with each other. And today we are 25 agencies. And
that's what I wanted to ask. How many?
Yes, yes, so we're 25. And the agencies vary in size significantly. So there's 5 people agencies and there's 250 people agencies. And you look at those, the diversity in size is a very strong asset for 27 Names because it allows people to learn from each other. We got leaders of those agencies at an early age in their 30s, and we got some that are already close to their 60s. So you'll see different levels of experience in the business that these agencies have. And that means that there's probably not a single challenge an agency faces that not one of the members has already gone through. So it's a perfect place when we meet 3 times a year at our meetings, which are called Inspiration X. It's the perfect place for all those leaders to share the challenges, share the opportunities, have fun, enjoy each other, but obviously also work together. So last year, for instance, members already had more than 30 projects that they shared with one another on the same client.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I just saw in the news that you won so many awards at Eventex. So obviously also creativity connects all the agencies which are part of your network. Can you tell us more about that? And in line with what we see, the logistics, probably it will be replaced by AI somehow, because this is the question. This is one of the questions we are asking everybody. But can AI replace creativity, which your agencies are producing on such a high level?
I don't think AI replaces creativity. AI is a means to enhance creativity and leverage technology for the benefit of creativity. I think you're right. You saw the Eventex news. I mean, we got 1 platinum, but overall there were 19 awards at Eventex. And funnily, 19 seems to be the lucky number because there was also 19 awards at BR World. So I think I'm really curious to look at the agency network ranking from Eventex, which will be published in September, because 19 awards is a strong figure, I would say.
Definitely, I would say you are definitely the strongest network in Europe, I think so. But tell me more about the trade shows like this one here. Is this the future of trade shows, or what do you think about it? This is a little bit provocative question, of course, but yeah.
Well, I mean, this is a marketplace. It's a marketplace for cities, for countries to bring groups to their places, and I think we've all seen during the pandemic how important Zoom calls can be. But looking around here, and you probably hear it in the background, there's hundreds or thousands of people talking to each other, exchanging thoughts and exchanging opportunities. That'll always be there. I think we've seen hybrid formats becoming reality, and I think that's still the future. But when you look at air travel, for instance, after the pandemic, it's pretty much where it was. So it was a bloop, and now it's back. And so I don't think this will be replaced by digital formats, but it'll be leveraged.
Ralf, can you share some of your future plans for 27 names, some data? What do you expect for this year and for the next years? What about 2 more agencies to be 27 names?
Yes. So I mean, as you point out, if the community is called 27 names, which was originally connected with the idea of the EU of 27 countries, we're currently at 25, and so there's definitely room for 2. But we already got a few members that are not EU members. So lately, like Jeff from Switzerland, or We Are Collider from the UK, who are no longer an EU country, have joined. So we got pretty much a lot of Europe covered, which I think is an interesting proposition for clients who want to do pan-European activities. But we have obviously a few white spots. So there's countries like Greece or Bulgaria. So any agency from Greece or Bulgaria, please reach out because we're
Bulgarians and people, colleagues from Greece. Yeah,
very good. Because as we said earlier, 27 Names is a community for the best independent life experience agencies across Europe, and so they're great agencies in Bulgaria, in Greece, in Malta, in Cyprus, Iceland. So there's many countries. So we might see a future that has more than 27 agencies in 27 Names, but we're focused on Europe. And I just saw last night on TV the growth prediction for the EU for 2024, the revised one, which is around 1% GDP growth. And we were just yesterday, by coincidence, discussing with our members their projected growth for this year, and they project an aggregated growth of 13%.
Wow. So it says a lot for the industry. Yeah,
it really says a lot. So strong agencies, strong creativity, very diverse agencies. They predict a lot of growth. And 27 Names today is 1,028 people strong. So looking at all those 25 agencies, it's more than 1,000 people across Europe. that are giving their best to produce great events for their clients.
I need to ask you this because this is a red line question. Is our industry, meetings industry, creative industry, part of tourism, part of economy? Because a lot of discussions is about that. Are we part of tourism? Part of marketing? What would you say, Ralf, with your experience and with the background you have actually?
Well, I think the meetings industry is definitely part of the business industry, and touristic elements play a role in here. And this is not necessarily black or white; it's somewhat gray. But meetings are a great means to bring people together, to do business together, to develop opportunities together. And I think the agencies that are supporting those activities with their creativity and their inspiration and their innovations are actually a critical factor for future growth. They inspire future growth.
Another question, which is redliner, I would say, was about Eurosong competition. On one side, it was really high-tech event.
Yes.
The production was on a high level. On the other side, the content was interesting, I would say. So my question is simple: high-tech or high-touch? What do you believe?
High-touch.
High-touch.
And high-tech is a means to help the high-touch. When I look at the success stories of the events that our agencies have won the awards for, you'll see a lot of technology baked into it, but it's always technology with a purpose. So it's always technology to help the high touch, actually.
Another question we always ask is, why should somebody work with the agencies, members of 27 Names?
Well, first of all, this is a creative industry.
Yeah.
And no matter whether you work on the production side of the events or the logistics, the creativity is a means to an end for the success of these activities. From our point of view, the talents in the industry are the real asset, and that's why we've started a program which we call Talent X.
Interesting.
Which is a program in which the agencies can send members of their staff to dedicated workshops on certain topics. And if you think about it, I mean, 27 Names is a European community, but lots of agencies do not employ people from countries outside their own. So for many of these member agencies, it's the first time when they meet colleagues from the same profession, but from a different background. And as we all know, every country does things slightly differently, and everybody initially thinks we do it the best way. But when you meet everybody else and they share about the way they do it, you get lots of inspiration how you can do things a little better here or a bit better there.
Also a big advantage of your network.
It's a huge advantage, and so for the future of talent, and we all talk about retention, ensuring that people stay. This Talent X program is a huge lever to make sure that people see the value in their agency, and our leaders from our agencies put a real big importance on talent development and talent retention. That's why they have very, very low attrition rates, which obviously at a time when it's difficult to recruit new talent to get into the industry, develop your talent and to retain it, I think is a real advantage.
I can confirm your agencies are really attractive to the market. There is a lot of Z generation already in some of the agencies, yes. Which is sometimes missing on other I would say agencies. Another question is about comparison. Is Europe still number one in organizing events? What would you say? You know all the competitions, you saw so many things in your career, you know, and we used to believe in Europe that we are the center of creativity and events industry, but is it true or?
Well, I think at 27 Names we believe in diversity, and so you go to Eventex or you go to BR World, where you see a lot of great pieces of work from agencies and clients outside of Europe. So creativity in Latin America is very, very strong. I remember from my momentum days, Brazil was always like a fireworks of creativity. You see Asia coming up a lot, not just China by the sheer size, but lots of countries in Southeast Asia. You've seen that at the Eventex Awards, where lots of agencies from Asia have also participated. So I think the various continents, if they all compete just on creativity, we'll have a great world. And so there's always inspiration from something somebody does differently. You look at Korea and the use of technology in events in Korea is just amazing.
Yeah. Well, we need to do a little bit of product placement. So you were in Slovenia last year, actually.
Yes.
That's one of your events.
Yes.
So what can you say about Slovenia as a destination for events? And what was your final experience there?
Yes. So we were lucky because obviously our members host our meetings, and last February I think we came to Slovenia, and as you see with this little flag here, I feel love. So I learned that Slovenia is the only country in the world with love in their name. So that's a big plus. I mean, what else can you ask for? I think the meeting places we've seen, we've been around Bled and Planica. I think have been extraordinary. I think the hospitality was fabulous. And I think having you next door and joining us for one of our
it was amazing for me
meetings
too,
was a great experience. So I mean it's pretty much placed in the heart of Europe, a little bit south, but right there, well connected. So it's been a great place to do our sessions, and I'm sure many other companies will follow suit.
Thanks. And we usually finish with fire questions. You can just say yes or no, but you can also elaborate those questions.
We'll see.
Beer or wine? Beer or wine?
Wine.
Wine. Can you explain?
Yeah. Well, Frankfurt is very close to the Rheingau, number one. Number two, my family, my mother's family, own a vineyard at the Mosel. So,
yeah,
you know,
it's easy. Cooking or just eating?
Cooking. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Cool. And the last question from my side, Ralf, is can you suggest us where should we go after the show is finished? You are a local here. What is something we do not know about Frankfurt and we need to know? What do you suggest to us?
Okay, so obviously when the show is finished tonight, you want to get to a fun night out. Yes. You could right now. There's the festival at Alte Oper, so that is always a good place to go. And if you want to really go native, go local, you go to Sachsenhausen and visit all those apple wine places and have your fair share of apple wine.
Super. Thanks, Ralf, for being our guest. Stay tuned. We are coming back in a few moments. And power to the meetings.
Thank you.
Hi everybody and welcome back to Ljubljana Talks. This is already third day of Ljubljana Talks and I have two amazing guests with me today. On my left side, Vesna Mojsilović from Slovenian Tourism Board, and next to her, Fredi Fontanot, Director of Slovenian Convention Bureau. We'll try to present to you a little bit more about Slovenia, what is happening in Slovenia, how successful we are on international market, on a local market, and some other things about my colleagues here actually. First of all, Vesna, is this your first IMEX?
No, the second one actually.
Second one.
Yeah.
Fredi, for you?
No, I can't. So, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think so. In the role of director is the second one, and but I was before in some other roles. So
So what can you say about IMEX? How do you like it?
no, IMEX for us it's a must. I think for the destination as we are, like Slovenia, it's a must. It's a nice place where we can show what we are, who we are, where we can meet really our partners, and I think it's a great meeting show. So yeah, we must be here.
And Vesna, what are your feelings for your first impressions after three busy days on our stand?
It's so great to see that people are interested in Slovenia and that they are very excited, especially the one who already been in Slovenia. They have very good experience. That's why I'm very, very happy, because when you promise something, you need to deliver it. And I'm happy that I see people that are satisfied who come to Slovenia.
Since this is a trade show, actually, it's where the demand and suppliers meet. Actually, let's start with my first question to you: where do the leading buyers and clients come to Slovenia for MICE product? So, Vesna, my question to you: what are the key markets of the Slovenian meetings industry, and what is your opinion on the regional competition?
So the first three markets that are important for us is Germany, Austria, and Italy, and then of course also Benelux and France and Great Britain. And if we go a little bit on the east, I would say Hungary, Czech Republic, and Slovakia. And if we go overseas, I would point it out United States and Canada. So these, I think, they are our main
This is a perfect
markets.
mix for Slovenia. let's
Yeah,
say
yeah,
so.
it's perfect. Yeah.
And Fredi, what is the ratio between corporate events and association market in Slovenia? I know that there is quite a big demand also for incentives, not just for association market. So what can you tell us about that?
Okay, yeah, Slovenia maybe it's a specific country where we offer on one spot, like there are some destinations that offer a lot of possibilities for bigger congresses and bigger events, of course, for associations. And on the other side, there are all around Slovenia places, very nice places where we do a lot of corporate events, smaller business events and corporate events. And the whole Slovenia is very known even for the incentives, and more because we are working well, even with the Slovenian Tourism Board on these authentic experiences, and they can be that can be made, of course, all around Slovenia in all our because we are very diverse in all our.
So it's quite, I would say, diverse marketing structure.
Markets, yeah.
By markets regionally and by products, let's say so.
Yeah,
right?
so it depends. The ratio depends on the local position of Slovenia. Of course, Ljubljana is in the center, has the possibility to have bigger events, so more associations, and even Bled, Portorož, and Maribor. And the other smaller city or small parts of Slovenia are more concentrated in business events. And I must say that we have a lot of internal business events too. So
Slovenian ones,
Slovenian corporate events is happening in Slovenia. So there are a lot of mixed companies now in Slovenia, and then they use thanks for Slovenia for the event. So yeah.
So we used to say diversity is our advantage, and it goes also with the market structure, which is interesting. It's almost 2 years after Corona now. Do you remember? It was in 2022 when we finished with that. So can we be pessimistic or optimistic about the future of our industry? Vesna, you took a role to coordinate us in these hard times. Now everything is more optimistic probably, but what can you say about it? What has changed most after the Corona, if you compare this time now towards that?
I would definitely stay optimistic.
Okay.
But there are some things that we must take in consideration, like digital transformation, innovation, technology, sustainability and responsibility. It's very important, and also inclusivity and accessibility, flexibility. These are very important things, and we need to be economical, efficient, and we should have a good economical value.
Which is also sustainable.
Yes, of course, of course. The quality, not quantity. So this is very important. And last but not least, health and safety. We learn a lot about that in the pandemic times, so we need to have in our minds to be healthy and safety.
So we need to take care about those things. I completely agree, because
These are the main
somehow
points.
we forgot about it and we believe that we are back on track. But yeah, nice reminder for what is important. Fredi, it's quite unique structure of Slovenian Convention Bureau. Almost 70 members, am I right? It's public-private partnership with Slovenian Tourism Board as the main partner and 70 members. How happy are your members, and what can you say about that after the IMEX?
Okay, so yeah, you almost said that. We are quite specific. We are a combination of public and private, and that I think it's a very good combination, because on one hand we have the strategic partner, the Slovenian Tourism Board, and on the other side we have the interests and the collaboration with the private sector. The partners are very mixed. So we have from hotels, from congress centers, of course, PCOs, DMOs, and now more and more even IT companies are coming into us, because they are interested to work in our business. So it's a nice mixed family. But the important thing for Slovenia is that we, maybe because we are a little bit small, we are very good connected, and we really can work together. So we can have the same goal. We can present our country for all the sides, and we really work all together, even in the realization of our RFPs or whatever. So we are very good connected. They are happy. I would say that. We have more and more requests to enter the Convention Bureau, but of course we prefer quality instead of quantity. That means that not every company can be a member of Slovenian Convention Bureau. We have strict standards, which every company who wants to enter must check and fulfill, and then they can enter or even not enter the company. I think this is important.
So guys, it's not easy to be a member of Slovenian Convention.
Yeah, right. That's right. So it's important to have a quality member. So that brings us ahead, and that brings us where we are really. Yeah. So
super. Thanks for this information. We are coming to the buzzword of this event here in IMEX, which is talent hunting. Young talents coming to the industry. We are young people, and Vesna, personal question to you: how did you came to our industry? What is your background?
Actually, my passion for tourism and traveling was from, high school. And I started working like a tourist guide when I was a student, and I love it. And then I work for the tour operator, and I travel a lot. I enjoy to meet new people. I enjoy to get known the new countries, the culture, all this exchange that is happening on the traveling. And then I start also with the Slovenian Tourism Board to promote Slovenia, to organize events. And this was slow path to the meeting industry. So, and what I really enjoy, it's like these people meetings and international exchange of knowledge, of experience. I really enjoy these interactions.
So guys, young talents, there is a lot of passion, as you can feel it in our industry.
And we really want
a lot of passion. Yeah.
We really want to attract young people, and Slovenian Tourism Board also joined the national campaign to raise the profile of professions in tourism and catering, because we really want to motivate them to choose these professions. So it's important to to encourage them, to get them knowledge and development of their skills.
Nice, very good. Fredi, with what you know today, with your skills and knowledge, what would you say to Fredi when Fredi was 16 years old?
So first of all, I would underline for the young people that this is really a very beautiful industry. I would use the word, it's very sexy. It's a sexy industry. So we work a lot, but it's not a work. It's a way of life, because you meet a lot of person. You have a lot of possibility to communicate. You travel a lot if you want to travel. So it's you can be even on social media if you like that. So it's a very nice and very creative industry. So I'm sure that the young people can find themselves in our industry. First of all, I was very young when I decided to work in tourism. So it was even my passion. But nevertheless, I would always say that it's not just in tourism, but it's always like you must learn every day. So learning process doesn't end. So you must learn with every contact, every meeting, with every person that you meet. Every day you must learn something new. So you must be very open to this. The second thing is that it's very good that you are ambitious, but you must know that there is a hard work to come to reach the goal. So it's very good to have the ambition, and I'm sure that it's a positive thing, but nothing comes alone. So you must work on it. So this is what I should say. And yeah, what else? I don't know. So it's there are some very nice things around in our industry. So
That's why you are always happy and smiling.
yeah, it's yeah, I am. I'm really happy. I really like what I do. It's something. It's sometimes it's hard, but you must be what you are and you must feel. But it's our industry needs a special kind of persons, because we all are special kind of persons, because we every morning we forget on our private problems or whatever, and we are just happy to work and to be involved with other persons, with other things. So you must have this in your blood, I'm sure. So it's a part of us.
Yeah, really interesting. I love it. So we are sailing across the topics which are hot topics at IMEX this year. Now we talked about talent hunting and how we can get more talents to our industry. The next hot topic was, of course, sustainability. All over the trade show we are talking about that also in the program. But Vesna, how can we transform our industry? What is absolutely necessary? What must we do to create more sustainable industry? This is the first question to you, because Slovenia, of course, just to let all the viewers, is really a pioneer on that field, and we are proud of that. So the STO is leading the process in Slovenia, and a lot of people are coming to me and talking with me also regarding that. So big kudos to STO.
Thank you. I think the very important for the meeting industry is to reduce the carbon footprints and also optimize resource usage and minimize the waste. And we also need to promote this responsible approach among the providers and among the clients. This is also important that we let them know, that we teach them. We teach them, actually, the providers and the companies through the Green Scheme of Slovenia. This is a really great project. So, but I think we need to teach also the clients, the visitors, the tourists. Yeah.
And Fredi, what are your priorities as a convention bureau to getting to the carbon neutral industry in the future?
Yeah, we are so quite on the same boat with the National Tourism Board. We are very proud what we are doing. We are sure that it's the right way. It's a long run, so it must be fulfilled with the small things. So we must think social. We must think sustainability, and we as the National Convention Bureau, we must learn we must teach others. how to do some things, and we must be an example. I'm sure that we must be an example. We must be the leader in that way, and we must help all the others, even so our members or even the companies to reach that goal. So, but it's and one important thing now we know almost know what we should do, but I think one important thing is measurement. So we must start to measure what are we doing, how are we doing, so that we know where we are now, and we will know tomorrow what have we done in that. We must walk what we talk, or talk what we walk. So I think the measurements are very important. So yeah,
Absolutely agree. Absolutely.
Maybe
agree.
I just add about the measurements. We all know that we will come to the problem of the flights, how people come to the destination.
Flight shame and so on.
Yeah, but we need to think that maybe we don't think so much about the flights. We need to think what destination can do, what we can do, like to be the best sustainable destination. Flights, there are something that Convent already do, that to motivate the participants to come with the train if it's possible, yes. But let's see what destination can do, what the providers.
It's about impact.
Yeah.
This is what is beyond, I would say, carbon footprint.
Yes, yeah.
But I agree, Fredi, also with you that we need to measure first, so that we
Of course, I agree with that.
and
Yeah,
then we can move on.
I agree.
So, my dear friends, the next question is about artificial intelligence. It was a red liner, as we call it. All speakers and our colleagues here talked about it. But Vesna, what are your thoughts about it? So, can ChatGPT is just a hype, or is it really something which will change the way how we think, create content?
I think that artificial intelligence, it is important also for the meeting industry. Already today, it influences the event organizing, and it will also in the future, especially in the fields of personalization and how we understand the participants and analytics and on-spot translation, for example, to create virtual and hybrid events, to make virtual assistants and chatbots and so on. I think also the events could be with artificial intelligence more efficient, more memorable, more engaging. But at the same time, artificial intelligence cannot replace this genuine personal contact that only with human beings can be done. That because this is really, meeting industry is a personal industry. It's industry of the people who meet and talk and to be there with them. This is important.
I agree, absolutely. Fredi, can AI replace Convention Bureau? This is a provocation, of course.
But yeah. No, I think AI it's a tool, and we are using it. We will use it, but it will change our way of work. So we will be more effective. We will do more things in less time. So that's nice. Even internet has changed our lives, but it's still a tool, and it's still something that we just use. But at the end, it's a human touch. It's human feelings, and I'm sure that. Behind this, it should be a person. It should be a lot of persons, not just one. I'm a team worker, so I said so. It's nice to be connected, to find all the solutions together. So it's. I'm sure that it will be that way. I'm sometimes wondering if maybe new generations will not need anymore the personal touch, but hopefully not. So
Hopefully not.
Hopefully that will not happen.
I mean, what we discussed here these days is that logistics maybe will be replaced. Those things we are doing on a regular basis, and they are more logistical, but creativity will never disappear, and there is no way.
And I think more the artificial intelligence and technology will develop, more the people will need this human touch. So I'm very optimistic about the meeting industry, because it will be even more important that we meet in the real place, in the real time, with the real people. So
I'm not sure that if you have some time to go around and see the floor, there is quite a lot of marketing campaigns around us, and what works actually in marketing nowadays, and what doesn't work actually, Vesna? What can you say about it? Because this is also a showcase of
Yeah.
marketing of destinations. That's why I'm asking this.
Yeah. If I would say very simple formula, I would say like fantastic experience and plus word of mouth. So we need to include good stories that need to be like in leisure. For example, the brand I Feel Slovenia is exceptional and express the love for the nature, our intention to preserve this environment and this diversity on a small place. We want to communicate the story of green, active, healthy Slovenia and sustainable tourism. And this is important that we communicate it also in the field of the meeting industry. But what we should exclude is for sure the promises we cannot deliver. So I would say don't overpromise, and on the other side, don't underprice. This is also important.
Agree. What should I say? Fredi, can you highlight one of the campaigns which catch your attention these days, actually?
These days.
I know you were busy, but...
Yeah, I was busy.
Yeah.
No, I will just say it. So we in Slovenia, we really use one of marketing tool that we have naturally is that Slovenia is the only country with the love in the name, and it's really nice, and it remains in the heads of our clients, our guests. All around. So no, I was thinking about that. I remember sometimes you must be, but for sure you must be. So you must sell what you really are. So it's an import. So it's
not pretend.
Not pretend something, because it's a long run, and at the end, at the end, they will feel, are you promising something that you can afford? So I remembered I was thinking about a nice campaign, and I was caught. It was like 1 year ago or something. It was our neighbors Italian marketing campaign with Botticelli's Venera putting all around as AI and AI influencer. It was quite special because they used really one important symbol of Italy, or for the culture of the Italy, and then they bring it to the new generation somehow. And I liked it. So yeah, there are some nice things going around. Yeah.
I'm to share with you what I experienced. Here is a nice lady doing, I would say, so personal promotion of this stand close to us. She's so friendly and genuinely friendly, and that she opens the hearts of the people coming by. So such a simple way to also work. She's just around the street, actually. Okay. So yeah, we're coming to the end of our discussion, and we usually finish with some fire questions for both of you. Of course, Vesna, for you, sea or mountains? That's my question for you.
Difficult, but sea.
Sea, okay. Can you explain a little bit why?
I love to swim. This is the most important reason, and the air with all these positive ions and positive effects on my lungs and breathing, and yeah, and also you cannot see the end. It's like open space with a lot of possibilities.
Nice, good. It says a lot. Fredi, beer or wine? That's my classical question for men.
Yeah. I'm not a very good drinker, but I will choose wine because I'm from the seaside of Slovenia, where we have a good wines. We are close to Italy, and wine. Yeah.
And we always finish with some strange questions, but it is, Fredi, for you, what kind of event do you want to host in Slovenia in the future? What is your dream event you want to host?
Dream event. It's always a difficult question, because I would prefer more different events than just one. But of course, some very important events brings to us important associations, important partners, important communities. So it's But we are really struggling. I would love to have as much sustainable events as we can do. So we want to be specific, maybe, and to be
really a hotspot of Europe for that. Yeah. I think we have all the possibilities in hands. Actually, everything is open. So it's up to us. Huh?
It's up to us. Yeah, it is.
And Vesna, your dream event in Slovenia?
I would say that if you ask me about my dreams, I would say that I would point it out the infrastructure enhancement, because I want to see one day that incentives in Europe will happen with the speed trains, to use different kind of transportation, to be really green, like that we do what we are talking right now. I really want to be there at the day when we will say, now we are not thinking, we are not talking about sustainability, but we are working, we are doing it. It's like a normal life, normal procedure. These are my dreams, actually.
Amazing. My dear friends, thanks for being my guest today. So it was a nice... Fredi, yeah? Okay, yeah. You want to add something?
Thank you.
If you want to add something for our audience, you feel free. Thanks for taking your time and being my guest. And power to the meetings.
Yes.
We are coming back soon.
Thank you.
Hi everybody and welcome back to Ljubljana Talks. This is already our third day of our Ljubljana Talks and I have a special guest, the legendary JJ.
Good morning.
Jan-Jaap, hello,
Hi.
welcome to our improvised studio. Well, Jan, how does it feel to be at IMEX?
Good.
Good?
Good. Lots of old industry friends. Lots of, I hope, new industry friends. It's buzzing. I've been working a lot in the education area. A lot of great education there. So overall, great experience. Yeah.
We'll talk about different topics which were covered in the education area.
Surprise
So
me.
let's start. Nothing special, actually. You heard a lot of that things, but we want to hear your opinion about it.
Good.
Let's start with experience design.
Yeah.
What do you think about this design of this event? What can you say about it?
Ooh.
What would you change and what is amazing? This is, of course, a trade show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and in my opinion, a trade show should be about experience. I mean, and in many of these booths, they are talking about the country, and they are not allowing us to experience the country. Yes, there is a drink from the country. Yes, there is something to eat from the country, but try to make me experience what your country feels like and what it is. And that is something that for many of these booths is something they can improve on, I think. Yeah.
The next red line question was about artificial intelligence and technology.
Yeah.
So my question is, do you believe that artificial intelligence can in several years replace events like this?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, when you talk about the experience, artificial intelligence can create experiences anywhere at any time that we sometimes can't. So we could rebuild this booth and we could be having the experience of really being in Ljubljana.
Yeah.
You should change the name of that city.
It's difficult, I know. Sorry for
that. So I think that AI will be able to play a brilliant role in trade shows, in making people experience stuff, in connecting people to one another. AI could be brilliant in helping us find the right people for us by analyzing who is JJ, why is he here? There is somebody walking around that might be a great match. Let's put them together. AI can do wonders, I'm sure.
So you are quite a big fan of AI.
Yes, absolutely. I'm like everyone. I'm still a bit scared and a bit uncertain on where will it take us, how will it work, etc. And I mean, I'm an old man, so we're looking to the youngsters to take over that and show us where to go with it. Honestly, but AI will play a big role, whether we like it or not, and I think it will be a brilliant role. So we have to force ourselves to dive into it and be the master of AI. Otherwise, AI will be the master of us.
I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a lot of trends presented at the trade show.
Yeah.
But what is the zeitgeist? What can you share with our audience? What trends would you like to put in front, actually?
Well, I think we had the main one, AI,
yeah,
which is the most important one. But alongside the AI trends, there is another trend, and that refers back to my profession as a conference moderator. That is the trend that because people are on AI and online more, they also crave human-to-human interaction more. In Holland, during the pandemic, we had a word, it's called huidhonger, being hungry for skin, being hungry for touching someone. So alongside the AI, the other trend should be, how do we get people together and create stuff together and experience stuff together? Because otherwise it will be a very flat, unfriendly world.
I just jump on you, but I want to ask you a more personal question.
Yeah.
About you, actually.
Okay.
How you became a moderator, JJ? Can you share your story and your experience?
Somebody forced me.
Really?
Really?
To go on stage?
Really? And I said no 10 times. And in the end I said, okay, well, let's try. But I used to be a director and scriptwriter for company movies.
Okay.
A production company that I worked with, they did company movies and they did meetings and events. And at some point, the CEO of that company asked me, JJ, we have this series of meetings for a company in the Netherlands. Would you like to moderate those? And my answer was, no, of course not. But then she kept on talking to me, and Judith, and I'm thankful of her till today. She kept on pushing me and drove me into it and found something in me that I didn't know that I had. And upcoming September, I'm celebrating my 20th birthday as a moderator.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Do you need a talent for being a moderator, or is this something you can learn?
It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
There is a deep personal talent that you need. You need a personality that is driven by helping people, by wanting to hear what stories people have to tell, etc. If that deep personality drive is there, then there is techniques that you can learn, and there is experience, and by doing it a lot, you learn more. So it's a combination of both. But the best moderators, in my opinion, are not the people that really want to be on stage. Because most of them are on stage because they want to shine themselves. The best moderators are people that want to help others and kind of end up on stage by accident.
Interesting. But what are you doing 1 minute before the show? What is your routine?
Last minute or minutes before the show, I'm zoning in. I don't want to be disturbed anymore. I'm just walking around the room, feeling the room. What I often do is go to the back row and sit there for a few minutes in order to kind of calibrate how far the stage is away from that back row, so that I know that when I'm on stage, how big my presence should be, stuff like that. Yeah, feeling the room. That's the most important thing in the last few minutes.
So guys, we detour immediately to moderation, but we don't. we are going back to IMEX. Okay.
Yeah, good.
And we'll come back to moderation for sure. Eurosong competition was full about high tech.
Yeah.
But also about content at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So my classical questions comes: high tech or high touch?
Both.
As a comment of Eurosong competition. Yeah.
Both. If somebody puts a gun to my head and I have to choose, I will go for high touch.
Yeah.
But the high tech adds on to the experience, and that's the thing with tech, with AI, with technology. We should be careful in making sure that it is an add-on to the high touch, but the high touch should always be the driver, should be the basis, because that's human interaction. And high touch in the sense of the stage design at Eurovision Song Contest was amazing. It was really out of this planet, brilliant. But it does not work if it's just this gold layer and the core is rotten. It only works if the core is there. And that's what from my job as a moderator, I always try to help my clients go back to the core of human to human. But the simplest thing is there's a voting tool. Make sure it's not just the tool that you use. Make sure that the tool is enhancing the communication between people. And then you're doing a great job.
Amazing. Walking around, I would say some of the destinations are good in marketing, some are not so good. But what can moderator change if the professional moderator comes in place and consult all these exhibitors? What will be different actually at the end?
What would be different is if I would be moderating all of these booths. Which, by the way, if you want me to moderate all of these booths, give me a call and I'll be happy to. There would be more human touch. It is all very business to business. Sit down, talk business. There should be a way of reaching out to people and talking to people and touching their heart and finding out who they are. That's the core of what a moderator would bring to any circumstance.
What kind of event would you organize if you have unlimited budget?
I probably would give back half of the budget and tell them to spend it on more important projects like helping people all around the world.
Amazing.
Because I'm quite convinced that unlimited budget does not necessarily make an event better. What you should do is, again, go back to the core. What relations do I want to forge between people? What connection should there be? And then start looking for what do we need to get that connection going. And in some occasions, it might turn out that all you need to do is rent 2 chairs, get people together, facilitate them in their connection, and that's all they need. And then you can spend the budget on other stuff. And sometimes you will find out that you need more budget.
You need Eurosong.
But don't start with the budget and then spend it. Start with building from the core, and then see where your budget needs take you.
Good point.
Yeah, we often tell clients, they come in and they say, JJ, we have 15,000 euro for a moderator. And then we tell them, you will only need 3. And they're surprised because they are used to companies saying, you've got 15,000, good, give us. We will sure it spend. No, sometimes a brilliant moderator is needed, and sometimes you don't need the best moderator in the world because it's a small topic, small event or whatever. And we will tell them, do not get the most expensive one. Get a cheaper one. That's enough for now.
Cool. IMEX is working a lot on well-being.
Yeah.
It's one of the rare shows actually, really focusing so much on that. What is the perfect balance, between, I would say, well-being, relaxing a little bit, and selling here actually? What would you change?
In my opinion, there should not be the question or. It should be and. From my perspective as a moderator, I talk about well-being within conference programs. And then people say there should be enough breaks and there should be a yoga room or whatever. And that's great. But as long as we do not solve the problem of the program sucking, 20 speakers in a row, death by PowerPoint, then you're fighting the symptoms and not the cause. So we should design, apart from that I love the yoga rooms, etc., don't get me wrong, we should design these booths, or we should design a congress for well-being in its core. And if you as a participant feel happy in every session that you're in, because it's about you and because the formats change every time and because it's not tiring, etc., that is well-being. In the educational area, there is these headphones that supports well-being, because it's tiring to have the noise and then have to listen to somebody speaking. With the headphones, you turn off the noise.
That's true.
So the headphones are just as much adding to well-being as the yoga room.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. Yeah. Of course, sustainability is a hot topic, but I will ask this in a different way. A colleague of mine said that the most beautiful islands in Croatia are a little more than nothing. So this is a perfect definition of minimalism, or the most beautiful things in the world. Yeah. So less is more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But how can we achieve that? Are we there, or are we,
From a standpoint of sustainability, there's still a lot to be won.
Yeah.
But I think sustainable events start with asking ourselves, why the event? Yep. There is too many events around the world that happen because we do it every year. And because there is no clear target. and therefore the focus on sustainability is just on how much travel, how much plastic cups, etc. Whereas I feel that if you would look at it more holistically and say, okay, what does this company need this year? What's the target? We need this and this. What does the event need to add to that? And then sometimes the conclusion might be, okay, so we don't have to travel this year because we can achieve this by simply sending around 2 emails. Let's skip the event then this year. Only get together when there is added value in getting together. And if we only focus on air miles, how many miles flights? I mean, that's rather one-dimensional. If we could solve the wars in both Ukraine and Gaza and anywhere in the world by having people fly 10 times around the world, that would be a brilliant investment.
That's true.
And then people would say, but that's not sustainable to fly around the world 10 times. Yes, if we can get world peace by doing that.
You are talking about beyond carbon footprint things,
Absolutely.
And this is a holistic approach. I totally agree with you.
And I mean, of course, carbon footprint is important, but it should not be the only button that we're
when this will be a normal topic, we will not on a top in a program. Then I will be happy. I would say.
Good.
Like I don't know, airbags in the cars. This is not a topic anymore, but it was. I would say decades ago. Let me finish with my a little bit of PR and product placement.
Good.
You were in Ljubljana several times. So
yes.
What can you say about Ljubljana as a city for meetings and events? And of course, you are a big fan and supporter of.
Absolutely.
Our event Conventa Crossover. So can you tell us more about that?
I love Ljubljana. It's one of my favorite cities, and it's not because he's paying me. I really mean that. It is because it is a small city with everything in it. So whatever event you have there, people will be able to also experience the city because it's the people in Ljubljana are friendly in Slovenia in general.
Thanks.
It's probably the most friendly people I know around Europe, and it's beautiful. It is, and they focus so much on sustainability. So if you could solve the fact that it's hard to get to Ljubljana, I have to be honest here. Sorry. Although he knows that you could also go to several other airports and then travel by train.
But we have 9 of them. So
nine surrounding airports. So and the Conventa Crossover Conference is a great conference for people in the industry to get a new perspective on their profession. It's one of the few conferences where experiment and where new ways of looking at things are at the core of the event, and I love that.
Thanks. So reserve date, the date for 2024 Conventa Crossover is 9 to 10 September. So
be there.
And the last question: did we learn something from Corona? You had a terrible experience with that. And to make this industry better and more responsible, more sustainable. Or we are back on track as it was before?
Yeah, I have to say that I think that for 95% we are back on track as we were before, which surprised me and which kind of makes me sad. I think we should take more learnings from the pandemic and from the change that we changed so much in the first 2 or 3 months of the pandemic. The creativity, everything was brilliant. As you said, I suffered from Corona heavily. So on a personal basis, I would not do it again. But as an industry, we should do that every 10 years. Ruin everything that we know and simply
rebuild again.
Yeah, absolutely.
JJ, that was amazing discussion we had. We finished with fire questions. Being participants or attendee?
Participants.
Can you explain this? That people will understand the difference.
Attendee is sitting and listening. Participant is actually being part of the experience.
Sea or mountain?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Probably my wife will be watching, so I have to say mountain.
Thanks for watching us and thanks for your time, JJ.
Yeah.
See you soon again in
Absolutely.
Slovenia in September, as I
Yes.
said. And guys, power to the meetings. Hi everybody and welcome to IMEX 2024, where I will present the Planet Positive project to you in the next few minutes. My name is Gorazd. I'm co-founder of Planet Positive event, and let me start with my why we created this amazing tool for sustainable transformation of events. So we all learn at school that if you think globally and act locally, this means climate action. Unfortunately, we all live in a world today where if you think locally and act globally, we can create a climate disaster. We can experience climate disaster on a daily basis. The weather is changing fast. We experience a rise of temperatures, which is visible and we can feel it. So the game is almost over. And also for us, meeting planners, we need to change the way how we organize our events. Personally, I'm really, this topic matters to me, and why I'm so obsessed with sustainable organization. Number one is that I believe in future, and I believe that we need to think what kind of legacy or even impact, mainly legacy, we will leave after us, to our children, to our companies, and just to let you know, I was born in summer of '69. That was the last year when the world was in balance. So all my life, we are using more resources than Mother Earth can replace. I also believe that we need to become active citizens, that small steps are not good enough, that we need to start with big steps. And the last thing I want to share with you is about degrowth. Because non-stop growth is simply in nature not possible, because we come to the entropy and explosion at the end of it, if I can simplify the whole concept of entropy. These are my personal take-offs why we developed this tool. Of course, on the other side, we checked tons of carbon footprint calculators and other tools for sustainable transformation of events at Conventa. And we were not happy with what we get. I would say we tried probably 100 plus carbon footprint calculators, and always something was missing. So, what was before and what is now, I will explain shortly in the following minutes. But definitely the game changer is so-called SRS standard, which European Union confirmed in European Council in July 2023. Why is this a game changer? Because now, from 1st of January 2024, already 50,000 companies in Europe needs to report according to that standard. But by the 2028, the majority of European companies will need to report according to that. And this is a precise and a very, very, very comprehensive standard, which is obligatory. So before we developed our software, all the reporting standards were disorganized. The only, I would say, golden standard was GRI standard, but this standard was voluntary, so it was not obligatory. But SRS was developed by EFRAG, European Financial Reporting Advisory Group, and that means that it's legally binding for EU member states. This is a big difference, and we can see it on our market here in Slovenia, that it's a game changer, because all the companies who are obliged to report, they're already using the big fives in Slovenia. They're already using our tool just because of that. There were quite a lot of imprecise carbon footprint calculators, many of them, but there was always something missing. Many times communication was not well covered, marketing was not covered, the production was not covered, the catering was just basically covered, and so on and so on. So we decided that we will put together our own carbon footprint calculator, and our calculator, this is what I can definitely say, have a high accuracy, which we measure based on the data we get from the suppliers. We also measure the scope 3 emissions, which is not so easy to do. Everybody who is in this topic knows that it's not a problem to measure the scope 1 and scope 2 emissions, but it's quite difficult to measure scope 3 emissions. Before the data collection to measure the carbon footprint calculation was quite a long process. But we created our own forms and instructions and tons of videos to support our clients in this way of transition. The forms are for project management and communication, energy, mobility, purchasing and ordering, venue and event production, waste and water, exhibition, catering, and hotel accommodation. So we cover everything what is necessary to cover according to SRSO standard. And these forms significantly simplify the whole process. And we are really proud on that. Also, the knowledge base was not complete. We put this in order. So we have 335 tips for sustainable event organization, which we call criterias. Then we have over 200 recommendations how to measure and make your events better. 9 collections of ideas to support you in collecting data, and educational videos and much more, which you can find on our website. Before, it was also very poor visualization of results. So we create a report which is automatically generated. By one click, you get a report which is in line with SRS. So this is where we are really proud on. And the biggest issue was that there is no external or internal expert evaluation of the results. Not even one tool is providing this in a proper way according to ISO standard. And we have a group of really good and credible assessors now for Slovenia, and we are building one group of assessors for Europe. And these are absolutely trustworthy assessors, and we are proud on that group of people. Last but not least, user experience was quite limited. Usually, we create all-in-one user experience and web, and it's really effective. It's holistic. It provides holistic approach towards sustainable transformation of the events. And of course, nobody so far measures the regenerative effects of events itself. There is a lot of discussion about impact legacy of our industry, mainly for destinations, cities, and so on. But when we go to the basis and the basic product of our industry, these are events actually. We do not know really how to measure the regenerative effects, but we know, and we put the metrics together, which we call SDG metrics, where we show the regenerative effects in SDG, in line with SDG goals of United Nations. But we also have ESG metrics, which shows the regenerative effects in ESG way. And this is what clients really likes very much. So this is what makes a big difference from other tools which are available on the market. So to wrap up, simply, it's all-in-one platform. It's in line with SRS standards. We have external and internal assessment built in. We standardize the collection of data, and we are the only tool on the market at this particular moment with so-called regenerative criteria. And this is why we say that our tool is transformative tool. It's online tool, sustainability rating of your event, certificate, and SRS report all in one. If you go on, I will just share the data about Conventa, because we tested and tried everything on Conventa. Also, the whole idea came out from Conventa. We start sustainable transformation of our project already in 2009. And at that time, we developed so-called Conventa sustainable criteria, which we developed for 15 key fields of organization of Conventa, and Conventa sustainable measures, where we put together so-called 7R model, which was copied many times. Also at IMEX, they're using part of it, and we are proud of that because it's an open source know-how which we share in line with the philosophy of sustainable development. And 7R simply, it's a call to action to rethink, reduce, refuse, recycle, recreate, regenerate, and reduce, of course, at the end of the day. So how the process goes with Conventa? One more thing. If you want to know where we are with our sustainable transformation, we must, of course, understand all sides of the metrics, of the KPIs. So we know about direct expenditure from the beginning. We know how to measure indirect expenditure at Conventa. We also know how to measure the multiplicative effects. And now with this tool, we can also measure and put together the KPIs for that. We can also measure so-called regenerative effects. Basically, the process goes like that. You start with selecting the event type. This is the first step. You then have access to the online application so that you can learn about the transformation, how to transform your event. Then it is a phase of calculating the carbon footprint. And when you finish that, you put data into the system and you make the sustainability rating. Then the external evaluator starts to evaluate your project. And usually there is an additional meeting with assessors for evaluation. And the final phase is automatic generation of your report. If I wrap up this simply, first of all, we share our green pledge and our green policy and action plan. This is where we start. Then we go checking criteria we need to fulfill every year at Conventa for sustainable event organization. As I mentioned probably before, we have 96 obligatory criteria and 268 recommendable criteria to fulfill. It depends, of course, on the size of the projects. How big and complex is your project? Then we have step 3, when we measure the carbon footprint with the help of our suppliers and the help of our forms and tools. Then, of course, we calculate the carbon footprint. As you can see on the screen, we are going from mobility to wastewater and regenerative effects. I can say that this is the most comprehensive set of criteria which really covers all. And again, we are super proud that we put together this amazing matrix, which is unique in the world. There is nothing like that in the world included in other tools. Step 5 is, of course, external assessment. Here is a list of Slovenian assessors, which are top experts in the field. Like, for example, Jaka Kranz comes from Ekologi brez meja, or Zero Waste, and then Lucia Amarold comes from Zero Waste, from a circular change, and so on. So we also have specialists for sport events, for big festivals, and this brings a certain credibility also in terms of types of events we are covering. In step 6, we usually have additional meetings with assessors. And the last stage, of course, is generation of automatic generation of the final report and certificate. When we come to Conventa, the final result was 116 tons of carbon footprint. The majority goes to the mobility of participants. But I will share this later, so you can check this. This presentation you will find online, and you can check what is the major source of carbon footprint. But we also show the data in line with GHG or GHG protocol, and we measure scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 emissions. And again, of course, scope 3 emissions with mobility are number 1 emissions in our case. The final result is then generation of this final certificate, where we rank the events from 1 to 5. And for example, the Conventa ranking was 3.48 or 2 stars. What we also do, we also say that ESG means for us easy, smart, and good. 360 degrees approach to sustainable event transformation. What is also interesting, we provide also data about the value of that carbon footprint. So 116 tons of carbon footprint, it's according to the date we calculate. The EU ETS price at that time was 58 euros per ton. That means that we generate 6,700 euros of carbon footprint. And we can, of course, compensate this carbon footprint, or we can simply decide and measure also the value of regenerative effects, and we can balance that. So this is why we say that this is a holistic and complete approach towards sustainable transformation. If you want to learn more, go to our website, planet-positive-event.eu, and you will find all the information there. Here are some words from the founders of the event, and power to the meetings. Hi everybody and welcome back to Ljubljana Talks. This is already third day of our talks, and last but not least, I have a special guest with me, Christian Pohlmann from fischerAppelt Live Marketing. Welcome to our improvised studio. We'll talk a little bit about creativity, about our industry, but tell us first of all a little bit about yourself. How you came to the agency and what is your background?
First of all, thank you for having me. It's a really great pleasure. So I'm a creative director at fischerAppelt Live Marketing. We are one branch of the fischerAppelt Group, which is 10 agencies under one roof. And we do, I would say we do tell stories. We do connect brands and people and people. Everything you do in experience marketing mainly is about connecting people to stories, to brands, to products and stuff like that, and to really have an impactful experience. And we try to do so by mostly telling stories that really matter to people, that people can identify with, and that they can tell on their own, and that they can put their own part in. I think that's, for me, that's really important, that it's not just about the event itself, about organization or about all the technology and stuff like that, but it's about the people attending the event and to give them a good time. So that's what we try to do.
Jumping immediately on Eurosong competition.
Okay.
It was a high-tech event on one side, am I right? The production was really on a high level.
It was.
But on the other side, it was also about content, about music, actually. Yeah. How did you watch the show? Or
just partly, because it's not my music, honestly.
It's not mine too, but I'm looking at this show from a professional point of view. What can you say about such shows and this difference between high-tech and high-touch?
I think having such shows is really great because they're always pushing the limits of what's possible technologically on technology side, and it's also fun to watch because you see the people in the arena having fun and all partying together, and that's what Eurovision I think does really great to give people a great time while they are on in part of the show. So,
but coming back to yourself, what are you doing outside your working hours? Actually, what are your hobbies and so on? Where do you find your creativity?
Oh, this comes from totally different angles. I like to travel sometimes. I'm not that guy who needs to travel all the time, but when I do, I really like to explore the destination I go to. So not drive around just in a car and staying in a 4-star hotel all the time. But I like to go there by foot and then to explore the city, explore the spirit.
To feel it, smell it.
Yeah. That's what it's about. You go into the different country to experience the people and to experience the lifestyles, and this is really inspiring for me. And
can you tell us more about the agency? I need to ask that. Why clients need your agency? What would you say?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I'm not sure if clients. The clients do need an agency, but we are not that important as we might think we are actually. But what we are really good is, as I said, connecting brands to people. So I guess that's our main selling point, that we are able to understand the client, understand his needs or its needs of the company, to analyze which markets and then which goals they are looking at, and to translate that into an experience that connects the people experiencing our events with the brand. And I think this is what really makes our work outstanding, that we create an emotional connection between people and brands, and something that the people experience always sticks more with them than just telling them something or seeing an ad or something like that. For me, live marketing, I would say, is the only only branch of communication that really does have a connection to people. Yeah. So
In Germany, how well our business is positioned inside the marketing industry. I mean, in some countries, the live marketing or experience marketing is in the bottom, you know. When some money is left, then they start to play. How it is in Germany, actually? Is this actually a crucial part of the marketing and communication, or it is just something?
No, it is crucial, I would say. Also because there's so much media clutter going on. We have so many different channels on social media, so many brands and influencers and people trying to cut through all that clutter, all that noise. And that's getting more and more difficult each and every day. And then to have a real experience, foot on the ground with ambassadors of a brand and the customers coming together, experiencing something together, making a bond, and giving also customers the opportunity to then tell their own stories again through social media and to kind of tell the client's story. Yeah, I think this is very, very important. Yeah, and I would say all of our clients would agree, because otherwise they wouldn't hire us. Yeah.
Sure. Can you share some of your best projects? I mean, you're proud on, you know, and explain a little bit more about them, because I know several of them, but maybe for the audience, what is your favorite project? Yeah.
I guess my favorite project is I talked about it earlier this day too. Is the homeless gallery. That still gives me the goosebumps. We saw the film, 2-minute film on the project earlier that day, and it still gave me goosebumps because it was so emotionally touching. Just to tell the audience, we did a project for a Hamburg street magazine, which is sold by homeless people on the streets of Hamburg. And it's called Hinz und Kunst. And they had their 30th anniversary last year, and they didn't have any money to celebrate, and they didn't want to celebrate in a usual way, but they wanted to do something for their people selling their magazine on the streets. And so we came up with the idea of having 30 people, because 30th anniversary, telling their life stories, and we translated it into art with the help of AI. And then we took the art and created a gallery that then was shown in the streets where the homeless people actually
By the way,
lived.
that was the winner of Grand Prix at the BIA Awards. Just to give you explanation what we are talking about. So #1 event in the world. Yeah. Oscar. Yeah. Of the Oscars of the industry.
Yeah.
Amazing project, really.
Thank you very much. And for me, this is a one-of-a-kind event that I'm not sure if we can ever pull something like that off again. So that's why I'm really proud of it. And because of all the people that were involved, because it's not just an event format, but it started as a communication campaign by our colleagues from our different agencies in our group. And we all came together and contributed our part to make it as big as possible with almost no money. So everything we did was, first of all, no budget. And then we tried to somehow make the money by selling the art, auctioning off the art at the Hamburger Kunsthalle. And we also were very glad to have known artists like Jonathan Mese or Hamburg street artist Flying Fortress to contribute with their own artworks to the auction. And so we were able to make some more money than we would have with
Do
the
you
art.
believe that with less money, the creativity is better? Is this true, or it's...
I would say it depends. It depends. Thing is, as event guys, we are used to play with big technology, lights, moving LEDs, kinetic installations, a lot of things that really make something big. And it's easy to come up with ideas like that, but to be restricted, you have to completely change your mind, to completely focus on other areas. So first thing, of course, you don't have money, but you will have to spend money. That's always the case, but you have to think differently.
I watched some other projects of your agency and of your creative team. Content is always there. Always content is in front. So is content still a king, or something will replace it, or
It depends on who you will ask in our agency, because. As I said, fischerAppelt is a group of agencies, so we were born as a PR agency, and we, of course, PR is still the main thing because this is our biggest part of the agency, and they, of course, do quite a lot of content. If you ask the event guys, then it's not content first, but experience first, and then you automatically generate content from it. So if you have people experiencing something, having a great day, great evening, a great show, whatever, something they can immerse themselves in, then you will automatically generate content afterwards. But for us, it's mostly not what comes first. Of course, there are briefings that say we want to have that certain outcome, but usually it's experience first.
We heard a lot about different formulas for success in experience marketing, from agile approach to many other things. But what is your formula for creating a successful experience? And how do you do this in a democratic way, or at the end you decide?
No.
This is the question too.
I would say the formula is just to be as open-minded as possible, and to let any idea that comes to the table shine, and then looking at it from different angles in terms of, does it fit the customer's needs, does it fit the audience's needs, what's the message behind it, and stuff like that. Does it fit in the overall strategy a client wants to achieve, and then to weigh if it's a good idea or not. But for the creative process, you have to be as open-minded as possible, and that's why I am, as a creative director, usually let my team do, because I know they are good at what they do. I do have certain opinions, and I bring them to the table, and I sometimes know a client better than any other person, but it doesn't help if I'm the one that goes from the beginning, like, we have to do this, and that, because then you cut certain ideas.
That's really interesting, So quite flat organization then at the end of the day.
It is,
Coming to automotive events, you are doing a lot of that. Well, now we have electric cars. Is anything changed now in doing, I don't know, world premiere of electric car, or how it goes now? If the car producer comes to you and say, okay, we have electric car, and petrol heads are a little bit nervous, and it's not an old school way, but how do you approach that?
I would say that you have to plan a more sustainable event overall. It used to be like the last years that you had a driving event, let's say, for electric cars, and you went to a destination and there were no chargers at all, or too little. And you then brought diesel generators to charge the cars overnight, and then present it to the press or to the dealers.
Really low, huh?
Yeah. And I would say now you have to have a real good look at which destination you're going to and what's the infrastructure there to really fulfill the promise of electric cars, that they have a lower CO2 footprint, and then organize the whole event around it. Yeah.
It's interesting. Coming back to the pitching, is this also different now than it was, I would say, before Corona? Is this well organized in Germany in a way that, I don't know, they just invite free agencies for a pitch, or this is a shopping around, or they are paying agencies for work involved? I mean, you're investing a lot of time and energy to create a pitch, and frankly speaking, it is fair that somebody is paying for your time. how it is in Germany. Yeah.
Honestly, most pitches aren't paid at all, and also the timings are sometimes they tend to get shorter and shorter and shorter. When I started, like, I don't know, 17, 18 years ago, we had like 4 to 6 weeks for an event. And nowadays, an event of that size, of the same size, sometimes only has 2 to 3 weeks.
Which is not really a lot. Yeah.
Which is not a lot, but also the production, I would say, changed a lot. Back then, we didn't have that fast computers. We didn't have the help of technology. It's only like 15 years ago, but doing a rendering then was like, okay, we let it render overnight. We then have a tiny picture that hopefully fits to the screen. And if you wanted to do any changes, you had to wait another night. And then nowadays it's like you press a button and you get a rendering.
Rendering something where AI can really help us. I mean, a lot of agencies is using that, just to play with the space a little bit, and it fastens the process maybe.
For us, our architects usually don't use AI for generating a room, but it helps for certain mood pictures, and then if you want to grasp the character of an event, to just prompt something and have a look at what it might look like, that's really helpful. Yeah.
Well, let's look around.
Oh yeah.
How would you design this event? If you have a free budget, I would say.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, I know it's a tough question, but what could you leave like it is? What would you change?
I would say I like some of the designs here, especially if you have a look over there. Dubai is a really great booth. I would make it more personal. I know it's all about connection, interaction here, meeting people, but here everything. That's the problem of a trade fair. Obviously, everything is lit in the same way. The whole room is lit, and you don't have those warm, inviting islands, those personal spaces. And I would say, if I could change anything, then it would be that.
Amazing. Yeah. Will you surprise us at BIA Awards this year? What can we expect from your agency, from your creative team? Another award, another
hopefully
Grand Prix. Yeah.
I don't think it will be another Grand Prix. Honestly, it was a really tough competition, and it did quite shock me that we'd won the.
Saw that, yeah. But so, you were almost non-stop on the stage, so yeah.
Couldn't stop. Yeah. At one time, the hosts were like, "No, you don't go back to your places. You stay right here because we think we might come back." That was quite a fun. I mean, getting an award would be great for us, for our projects, for our clients. But most importantly, I think what really is awards are a great opportunity for that you can see all the creativity from different countries, different agencies. You get new impressions, new inspiration. And the exchange from creative minds, this is what really stands out for me when visiting an award.
So do you believe that these awards are important for agencies? I think they are, but what is your opinion?
They are in certain ways. As I said, meeting people, getting inspiration, getting to know what the industry does at the moment. Because usually you are in your daily business. You don't look left or right. Sometimes you see something in the press where you say, "Oh, that's a great project." But I'm not the one going actively on the hunt for inspiration or great projects. So being there and having the opportunity to have a look at like 100 projects at one time and seeing all the great creativity, that really stands out for me.
When you have a crazy idea, which is a little bit out of the box, I would say, out of the comfort zone, how do you convince the client to go for it? Do you present ABC?
No. Usually I don't do so because when you present an idea, you have to be convinced that this idea really is the best for the client. And when you're not convinced, you will not convince the client. So for me, that's one main point, not to come up with too many options. Of course, if you have a motto, a claim, whatever, you can give them variations. But if you have a great idea, you should stick with that. But then, of course, you also have to look at what does the client actually need, and does it fit the tonality of the client?
Is it functional?
Is it functional? Yeah, right.
More crazy and so
Yeah.
yeah.
And sometimes you have clients that are daring, that want something completely new, something never was done before. But they are rare. So most of the time you have to look at the client and have a look at what would fit best for them, what is most suitable, and how do we achieve something that still surprises, but within the boundaries a certain brand or a certain strategy has. Yeah.
I always finish this discussion with a strange question. Who is, in your opinion, the biggest event organizer in the world?
The biggest event organizer in the world.
This is a tricky question.
This is a tricky question.
What would you say?
I honestly can't answer that because there's so many great agencies around there.
Red Bull. I'm joking.
Sorry.
Red Bull is the biggest event organizer in the world. Am I right? Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
We do?
Yeah.
Actually, they are not selling drinks, but they are actually doing what you are also doing, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, of course, we have some fire questions for you at the end.
Mm-hmm.
One is, of course, car or train?
I would say train, but in Germany with Deutsche Bahn, it's difficult sometimes
It's not so
to get there in time.
precise anymore. No?
And because I do have an electric car, I would say car in that case. Yeah.
And coming back, usually we finish with that. Sustainability, of course, I forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
That was also a buzzword during these 3 days. How do you touch this topic actually in your agency? Is this important for your clients?
It is.
For automotive it is. And how do you measure the impact of your events at the end of the day?
It's quite important for us. We do have our own task force that strives to have a look at all the projects we do and see the potential, what we can do better, how we can achieve certain things in a better, more environmental friendly way. Right now we don't have certain measurements in place, but I guess this will be something that we will do in the future. But we do have clients and we do have projects where you hand in a concept. We're right now doing the fan zone for the European Championships in Berlin. Mm-hmm. And the concept was like 350 pages. I would say 250 of those were how are we sustainable and most diverse and stuff like that. And the creative part was smaller than the rest of it. So it's getting more and more important. And we as a event business certainly do have quite a lot of work to do to get better. And we do have, I think all the tools right now, all the technologies to do something better.
Christian, thanks for being our guest. That was an amazing discussion. Once again, congrats for the award last year. And
thank you.
We are looking forward for future. And thanks for watching us. Yeah. Stay tuned and power to the meetings.
Thank you for having me.